Okay, so I've still got 24 tin. That's a fair bit. Do I want to... Unfortunately, I cannot remove coal from this situation, which means I have to overload it. Well... I'm trying to get a DM to allow me to use a war shovel in the game. Here's the trick. Just call it a spear. A broad-headed spear. And they will... just not even think about it. But you absolutely, like, any good DM should be able to look at a shovel and be like, yeah, actually, that's a very viable weapon. Because you can do slashing, you can do stabbing, and blunt, depending on how you swing it. I'm sure it's not quite as good. Like, it would probably do slightly less damage or something like that, but, like, shovels are actually decent weapons. Okay. It's 8 bronze. Do we upgrade the shield? What are the stats upgrade to? So 5 more block power, same amount of parry force, same amount of parry speed. Huh. More durability. Heavier weight though. So maybe I hold off on upgrading that. Do I grab the spear? Because I want the Atchir. Because this does 45 pierce. So actually the bronze axe does a decent chunk of damage. But is the axe just like almost equally viable to the sword? The sword has more knockback. No, the axe has more knockback than the sword. The sword has more durability. That makes sense. So yeah, I don't think I actually need the sword. I'll just use my axe. Let's see. Mace to replace bonk stick. This one? How much damage does bonk stick currently do? Yeah, it's pretty bad. There is also the bronze-headed arrow. 35 pierce as opposed to 11 pierce and 22 fire. Let's go spear. Okay, so upgrading the spear is going to require a little bit more bronze, will give me 6 more damage. Let's not do that. I want to go on an adventure. I've been putting this off for long enough. So, let's go here. Nothing to stack. What do you mean? I have honey. Stack the honey, my dude. Let's see. Move the mushrooms. Move that. Okay, so I'm getting a bit sloppy with my management here. But that's okay. Alright, I've got a stupid amount of eyes. Let's put those away. And I need... ancient seeds. Mod that animals drop cooked meat if they die while on fire. Yeah. That'd be cool. Okay. But first... Dungan. Oh, do we not have... I guess not. Oh. Oh, no, the Elder's just down there. Alright. Zoop. Man, you know the beauty part about all of this is I don't actually have to worry about getting spawn points. As long as I can teleport, I'm good to go. Hello! Down I go! 4. Wow, that's an immediate difference. What is this shield at? Block power is 30. Yep, we're just gonna throw that away. Well, throw that away. I'll put it in a bin. Let's see. Valheim Brawler. I would love to see... the developers incentivized unarmed combat a little bit more. Or just, honestly, bronze knuckles. Iron knuckles. Like, let me straight up make, like, fist weapons. Personally, though, I want enchanting, like Skyrim-style enchanting. Maybe not quite as nuts, but still. Oh. Want the devs to add a max tier spear. Hate that the max tier spear isn't in the game. What? Well, it'll probably get added at a later date, maybe. Man, I know I've said it before, but I absolutely adore the fact that I have unlimited stamina for just getting around. It's so much more comfortable this way. Hello, Runestone. Where the grass grows underfoot and the sky is blue overhead, there'll always be a hearth and home. It's true. Well, except for these people. I think these people got beasted. How wild is it that this was like an early access game made by 5 people, though? Like, it really goes to show how much a good idea and good implementation can really, like, drive a game home. Anthem's been on my head for the past couple of days, weeks. Oh. Do I have to build a boat? To get to the Elder. Yeah, can we rant about Anthem? We can rant about Anthem. I think it's justified. I think it's always been justified. Like, I remember playing that with you guys, and I was like, oh man, this is actually kind of fun. And then just, like, getting further into it, I was like, I mean, it's still fun. I just felt like it was made by people that actually kind of knew what they were doing, but directed by people that just wanted to make Destiny 2, to unseat Destiny and accept all of that sweet cash. But, like, I'm not going to say I got invested in the idea that they were going to fix it up. But I was really hoping that, that BioWare would, yeah, actually just follow through and finish it up. Of course not. Why would they? There's no money in fixing a game. Better just pump out the next Battlefield or something. Or get, oh shoot. We're the people that make Titanfall / Apex Legends / Star Wars now? That's all the same studio, yeah? Yeah, just get them to make the good games. And then eventually they'll become overburdened and then get axed, and then, you know, Big Daddy EA is just going to pick up some new studios. Yeah, Respawn Entertainment. Yeah, when Respawn is old and tired, EA will just put them out to pasture and then either make a new sub-studio with the same spark or buy a new one. Just kind of rinse, repeat over and over again. It hurts. I felt like there was a neat, unique things that could have been salvaged, maybe. Just wasted investment on EA's part. And it's like... I feel like, to some degree, so many AAA companies are so afraid of having games that are albatrosses that, you know, could possibly be a risk, that they end up taking more risks as a result. That, you know, the day of a lot of these bigger companies, not all of them, like Sony still goes out on a limb for a number of games. I mean, looking at Death Stranding. But you know, I remember when a lot of AAA studios were really kind of pushing new and interesting ideas, and pushing the boundaries, and then at some point, protecting profits became way more important as far as, you know, EA is concerned, Activision is concerned, Blizzard is concerned. And... oh, where's my spear? There's my spear. I guess I put it away. Kind of. And so what they end up doing is, so I worked at a game studio for a year. Not for very long, but it was enough to get some, like, not insider ideas, but just to see how it worked. And we did contract work for Nickelodeon, and almost unilaterally, the word from on high from Nickelodeon was, steal this idea and make it into a Nickelodeon product. Like, we straight up, we were told to play Monaco and learn how Monaco worked so we could make a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Monaco over the course of, like, a couple of weeks. And so obviously, like, it was never anywhere close to as deep as what Monaco was. Nor as good, nor as interesting. But it was one of those that they didn't care about us making an actually good or interesting game. They cared about us aping off of somebody else's idea and stealing, effectively, as much of that hype and using it for... well, maybe not stealing the hype, because you can't say, like, we made our own Monaco. It's building your game off of the back of somebody else's idea as much as possible. And apparently this is quite an issue with a lot of creative fields as far as, like, how business is done. You know, just copy. Find something that works and copy it. You know, don't create something new. That's a risk that takes time, that takes effort, and, you know, there's no market research for coming up with a new thing. You know, you need to see what already works and then copy it. I don't know why I'm grabbing so much flint as I go down the coast. I think we're going to need to figure out how to make a raft here. Well, it's about time for me to figure that out. Woo! I've not actually been out on the ocean during a storm, but that looks great. Welcome to big company that is not a game company. Well, I mean, but, like, game companies are still absolutely vulnerable to these design decisions. I think a lot of it has to do with the fact that, once again... A lot of people that kind of run the bigger studios often tend to not be games people at all. They don't actually really care too much about, like, what the game is. They're just there for business. It is business to them. You just straight up dodged my spear. I really got to get the mod so monsters explode immediately into loot as opposed to waiting. Because I could have actually got that other deer. As long as the concept isn't copyrighted, it's going to be cloned to hell and back again. But, like, I can understand that with... what was the game? Among Us spawned a number of really shitty clones. I'm trying to remember the name of it. Oh, you're fancy. And dead now. I really like this spear. It's just such a casual attack animation. It's just, eh. But, like, Among Us spawned a number of crappy clones. And we're probably still going to see some AAA studio try and capitalize on that at some point. I've definitely seen a number of them. Pretender, there we go. That was the clone. But, it's like you see all these really creatively bankrupt clones pop up, and very few of them actually manage to pull it off. Like, say what you want about Fortnite, but at least they cared enough to make it decent. Even if, yeah, at this point it's kind of this weird soulless monstrosity. It's weird, actually. I don't necessarily know if it's soulless or if the soul that's behind it is just bizarre. Because it's a game that sold its own identity for success and managed to thrive off of it. I'm a Poke-Skeleton. This is a terrible idea. But I don't have any blunt weapons, so we're doing it. But, you know, the creative heart behind games like this, for example, is why Valheim sold 5 million copies over the course of 2 weeks. I mean, there's the fact that, yes, it's also probably one of the better survival sandbox games to ever be made, and already, and it's fairly cheap, so it's easy to sell multiple copies. You know, I wager that multiple people, having watched me or another content creator just kind of running around and playing this game, was like, holy shit, this is great. And then they start playing it, and then they're like, hey, you know, friend whatever, you wanna, you know, friend Bob, do you want to play Valheim with me? What's Valheim? Oh, it's this cool Viking survival sandbox game that doesn't actually suck. Alright, sure, it's 20 bucks, whatever, it's fine. And so you just kind of have this, like, chain reaction where everybody just ends up picking up the game. I'm pretty sure that's how it worked with, like, Stardew Valley and a couple other, games? Many other games. And, like, it is a legitimately amazing game. This is really good. For a game that is early access. And, yeah, there are absolutely aspects in this game that are taken from so many others in the genre. But it's very clearly, like, they had an idea for this. They knew what they were doing, and they had a vision. And so, for me, for games like Anthem, there was promise. There was vision there. But somewhere, somebody along the way... And I think it's really just the fact that they were passing this studio from person to person... Okay, come on, explode, explode. I want to get that other deer. Thank you. I'm not going to fight bonermen. Why would I fight bonermen? I've got a deer to hunt. Hello, deer! I love the spear for deer hunting. Yeah, 7 Days to Die, the $20 price tag makes it really easy to get into. Yup. And so, I realize that this is kind of functionally impossible for big AAA studios most of the time. Oh, you're blue. Why are you blue? Alright. But I would love to see more AAA studios kind of recognize that sometimes it's actually way more valuable to have a bunch of happy, creative people jammed into... Or not jammed into a room, but, you know, working in a more healthy environment, making a game that they love, than 200 people jammed into a small warehouse office building that's... You know, super new agey and hyped up looking, but ultimately kind of soulless. Making one game that has no vision or idea or passion behind it. Actually, I had people raging me saying a game could be cheaper a while back. Most people don't realize selling 50,000 copies at 40 bucks isn't as good as selling 500,000 at 20 bucks. It's a mix. I feel like there are certain games where you absolutely kind of have to charge high prices. Like, it would be difficult to convince me that God of War, the most recent one, wasn't worth the full 60 bucks. Just because that game was such a good product. Same thing with, I'm going to say, Last of Us and You know, the true good AAA blockbusters. But that somehow a lot of these developers see... Hey, I got it. AAA developers see the $60 price tag as kind of this, like, starting point, and then you add all the DLC and whatnot. And then they go, like, all in on making this bloated beast of a something or other. And it's like, no, I'd be perfectly fine buying, like, a really nice, cheap, short, and to-the-point AAA experience. What's a good example of that? Trying to think. Well, I mean, how many of you guys actually played, how many of you guys actually played the Ubisoft indies? Rayman Legends, Rayman Origins, Grow Up, Grow Home, Child of Light. I'm sure those didn't sell particularly well, but I really feel like there's a huge potential market for a bunch of games made by AAA studios where it's more of kind of a collaborative environment overseen by people that actually knows. Yeah, Grow Home was Ubisoft. Yeah, the Rayman games are good. Those games were great. And, like, I'm sure it didn't have the, I'm sure they didn't have the selling power that the latest and greatest Assassin's Creed had, but I'd wager that, I'd wager the profit margins are a lot safer maybe on some of those indie games instead. Maybe. I don't know. But going back to the whole Anthem thing, it's one of those where it's like, even in the beta stage, I was arguing with myself and others, like, why this game is probably maybe sort of worth it. And I realized in retrospect, that was a terrible idea. That I think I was still very much in the, like, I want to play a sci-fi co-op looter shooter with my friends. And I still am. But, you know, we're going to have this conversation in about a week, when Outriders rolls out. That Outriders looks like it's going to be not the same as Anthem. It's probably going to at least be a satisfying complete package, maybe. But I still see the inherent flaws that are present there as well. That, you know, it might still be fun. Don't get me wrong. But for a lot of these games, I feel like the smaller scope might have actually been healthier for them instead. You know, don't make your game this big bloated beast. Make it small, more satisfying. And then, if you really want to go for the games as a service model, just keep expanding it or something. Or who knows what. I love the two responses back to back. Oh boy, Outriders, and it was great. I love the demo. And I think both of those opinions are quite valid. Once again, I know a lot of people that actually really enjoyed Anthem. I know a number of people that kind of enjoyed the Marvel's Avengers game that came out a little while ago. Let's see, Warframe is suffering now. Is it? I haven't paid a whole lot of attention to Warframe lately. I love the game dearly, but good lord, it is such a time sink that to get anywhere you have to spend hundreds of hours, and it's just like, I can't do that anymore. I say as I run up a coast, mining tin. I should probably respond to some of these. So thank you, Gemroth, for the 44-month resub. Thank you, J-Bark, for the 7-month resub. And I also just realized it's Wholesomeverse Live time. Yeah, I'm going to need a raft. So I'm going to teleport home, and then it's Wholesomeverse time. I'll keep mining while we're going, but it's probably going to be closer to home and some other things. Is Wholesomeverse this game? No. No, we're going to be doing Project Winter. Wholesomeverse Valheim is on Tuesdays. And I might see if people want to do like a more open server thing. Holy shit, that's a lot of tin. I'll see if people want to do, like, an open server thing on Saturdays or something. And Warframe is doing fine. It's not its peak player base anymore. Studio shut down due to COVID. Hit them pretty hard on how they've been doing updates. Yeah. I mean, honestly, I would still say that Warframe was a rounding success, even if it's not doing amazing anymore. I mean, that game was a commercial failure that no one wanted to publish, and now they've managed to turn it into one of the best MMOs on the market, so... Like, I can't say that it's not doing well. That game succeeded. It's just the question of, will it have the longevity to keep going? And that's a different thing entirely. Ooh. I was wondering where my bow was, and the answer is here. Yeah, that and Path of Exile have absolutely succeeded regardless of where the future holds. Holy shit, we have, This is apparently the secret sauce that I needed to make progress. It wasn't metal, it was wood. Yeah, the fact that there's many people with 10,000 plus hours in Warframe makes it a success. Yup. I honestly almost feel like, at this point, the healthier thing to do for Warframe would be to almost, like, make a sequel? I don't know if a sequel is the right way to put it. Honestly, I would almost say, like, do what Path of Exile is kind of doing, where you kind of have the sequel, but in the base game. Where, effectively, they take the original content for Warframe, maybe rethink some major things, you know, kind of pick a new direction, keep all of the old content around, and still, I mean, it's still very valid. It all still looks great and plays well. But kind of have, like, a reimagining or a reinvention as a means of getting people to resub and pay more attention again. Because as it stands now, it's just kind of, well, every once in a while there's, like, a new big update that changes the story, which I think is great. But it's easy to get exhausted with that kind of content. Yeah, Destiny did a goof when they sunsetted their content. Yeah, they should never have done that. What Destiny should have done was that they should have done what Hitman did, where, like, in Hitman, you can play all of the old Hitman levels in Hitman 3, which is great. And so for so many of these, like, big live games, let players keep all that content. Keep their guns, keep their gear, move it around. You know, don't hide things. If you have to retcon stuff, just label it as, like, this was the before times, and do some kind of stupid Marvel-style recontextualization of the universe. Sad thing is, eventually all of these platforms will shut down. Really wish we'd pull the whole, we can no longer support this. Here's the software, run your own server. I'd pay $200 to run a WildStar server. And, you know, yeah, I didn't play a whole lot of it, but I'd absolutely pay that price. And then, you know, maybe it costs $20 for clients. Anyway, everyone's talking.